Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, even if it is a July, we had a wonderful event with a lot of participants for the Pharma and Healthcare Life Science Transformation workshop and event that we organized. And initially, when I was thinking that it will be in July, I did not expect that we'll have so many topics and so many people showing up. And I would like, first of all, to welcome Edward. He was a speaker that put together his 17 years of practice into very nice content, and he's leading CE Life Science sector. Welcome, Edward.
Thank you very much.
And also Dora Alecu, and Dora was also sharing from her vast experience because she's leading life science sector for KPMG in Romania.
Thank you. Yes, and it's not only about tax or tax and transfer pricing. Today was and is about pharma, healthcare, and life science transformation.
So now in the next minutes, we'll try to squeeze the content of half a day of this event and all the questions that we had throughout the event. So jumping directly into the topic, Edward, you lead CE Life Science sector, and you have this number of companies that you have seen going through different transformation journeys. So I guess my question to you is, how do you see now CE pharma sector?
It's not about what's new. That's a 2-day discussion. It's about the positioning of the CEE.
When we were just discussing about how you see your transformation while being part of this transformation, you mentioned some objectives like structure and better regulation. So does it translate into specific things that the companies are doing?
That's a good question. And it does. It does. And it's today's discussion was really all about AI and transformation and where are we and where are we going. And I think companies within the CE, which there are many, they are becoming more strategic in their visions. They are becoming less concerned about vertical integration and horizontal integration. They are more concerned about the positioning globally. I mean, the companies are looking at how they position themselves globally. It's not about vertical integration and horizontal integration. It's about how they use their resources globally and how they tap into greater efficiencies by orchestration of those capabilities.
And then they do this more and more with technology. And in fact, in my 21 years of experience as a tax professional, I was never close to life science as a sector. I was more into tax technology, legal technology. But then looking at all the use cases we had today, I felt like now we speak the same language and there is no a clear line between technology and life science, isn't it? So looking at this, Dora, I guess the environment has changed. What would be, let's say, top 3 things that come to your mind when you are thinking about the life science environment?
I think that the Romanian companies are looking to innovation in all the sectors. So it's not only about research and development, it's also about innovation in any area, including in the technological platform, because AI, as you said, became an integrated part of our lives and of the companies. Then it's the legislation. We have the tax legislation, which in Romania is changing rapidly. We have the EU legislation, which is coming in Romania on all the areas of the pharma, healthcare, and the life sciences sector. And we have the practice, and the practice is brought by patients in the end, by all of us who wants to be healthy and have a good well-being. So life science in the end will serve our health and well-being, which in Romania is also priority. And if we combine it with prevention and clinical studies and adoption of all the EU best practices in our legislation, these are the trends which we are going to see, we are already seeing implemented in Romania.
And it's great because even if we are talking legislation and technology, reorganization, like big words. It translates also to things that normal people or young patients feel. And at KPMG, as we speak, we have a big cohort of students, young students from high school. And they were giving a project with a use case on life science. And they picked up exactly on these points. How do you create the right technology for patients to access better healthcare and better services? And how do you manage cybersecurity risks? And how do you manage data protection and other things? And coming from 16 years old, I found it fascinating how they managed to grasp the nutshell of this big sector and very complex one. Which leads me, Edward, to ask you the next question on technology and specifically on AI, not because everybody's hyped about it, but because finally we see how this properly translates into practice. Why AI matters?
AI, well, you've touched on the points. AI has now become an accepted discussion point. The story isn't about AI anymore. It's about how we can use AI and what's the facilitation it can actually achieve. And earlier on, we were discussing how companies orchestrate a very complex infrastructure of supply and manufacturing globally. So AI is the tool that reduces that friction. AI is the tool for me that is really starting to break down the silos of a workforce.
So, Edward, we all agree today that the business model for life science sector is changing, and you have 17 years of experience. You've been through many changes, but what are the trends now? What would you point out from the many trends?
From the many trends, I mean, I'll focus on two. 17 years sounds a long time. But I speak to many.
It was a compliment.
Yeah, I speak to many, and I'm just a junior, really. So, two of the key trends. The first key trend is industry talks a lot about breaking down the silos. And finally, after 17 years, I can see that actually happening, and AI is the enabler. So, industry across its complex infrastructure, regionally, they're looking at the individual. How's the individual impacting with the team, and how is that team impacting with the site or the office? How is the office really adding value to the customer journey? And so therefore, how is it impacting of the vision of the group? And understanding where they're at and looking at the ground zero, they are really looking to see how they can step forward. So they've gone through transformation, they've gone through governance, and now they're looking at what's the next. How do we increase ourselves even further? So it's this willingness to constantly evolve, which I find interesting as a trend, because it always has been. This is how we do it, and that kind of ties into, I suppose, the structure of the company, because globally it always was size is king. Have a large footprint, have a large site, have a large team. And it was all about manufacturing at scale. Now it's all about, where do I get the best capital? Where do I get the best talent? Where do I get the best regulatory execution? How do I get the best investment? Where do I get my best IPO? So companies are definitely structuring themselves globally, more strategically, with a lot more care and sensitivity on how to make one impact on the customer journey, but also how to actually maximize its potential. And that, for me, is the trend that's the most interesting.
When we were working on a different project, to mirror a little bit your idea, if you allow me, we started from break the silo, build the tribe concept.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So talking about building the tribe, Dora, because you lead for KPMG Romania this sector, how do you see this translating into the Romanian market? What your clients are telling you is the pain point that they are looking to solve in the next months?
In the end, it's about absorbing technology and changing. It's about innovation and bringing research and development even more in Romania, adapting to the group needs, and there is a shift of functions and risks all over the Europe. And the companies in the region, including Romania, wants to get more of it, not only more about the IT, because even in pharma companies, there are departments which want to become the hub in their groups.
Yeah.
But it is also about profit margin. So if you ask me, because I'm also in tax transfer pricing, the main company's pain point is in the end how they will balance all of the investments and costs with the profit margin.
So half a day of an event, a lot of speakers, a lot of topics, a lot of participants. It's difficult to squeeze this in a few minutes. Thank you to my panelists, and thank you for those of you that went with us through this journey of the interview or were in the room for the event. I wish you everyone a good day.